Hi, everyone. I'm Corey Wells, back for day 8 of National Poetry Month. Yesterday, I read a poem called Ontology by Jeff Harden, in which he kind of playfully experiments with naming things that a man, particularly, might be tender toward, such as daylilies or katydids or flowers on a grave. Well, that reminded me of today's poem that I've selected to share with you because it's about a man who has a real tenderness for something, that being his son, and yet there's also a lot of brokenness in the family. And how this story is told is something that just gets me every time I read it. I use this a lot in workshops. I just love it. It is called What I Mean When I Say Truck Driver, and it's by Geffrey Davis. It is in the database called The Quarry, which is on splitthisrock.org, and I'll put a link to it so you can read the poem yourself. And if you ever need to look up a poem related to social justice, any kind of social justice theme, I really recommend that you check out Split This Rock. What I Mean When I Say Truck Driver by Geffrey Davis. During the last 50 miles back from Hall, and some months past my 15th birthday, my father fishes a stuffed polar bear from a Salvation Army gift bin, labeled Boys 6 to 10. I can almost see him approach the decision, cold, a little hungry, not enough money in his pocket for coffee. He worries he might fall asleep behind the wheel as his giant, clumsy love for that small word, son, guides his gaze to the crudely sewn fabric of the miniature bear down at the bottom of the barrel. Seasons have flared and gone out with little change in his fear of stopping for too long in any city where he knows the addict in him waits, patient as a desert bloom. Meanwhile, me, his eldest child, the uneasy guardian of the house. In his absence, I've not yet lost my virginity, but I've had fistfights with grown men and seen my mother dragging her religious beliefs to the bitter border of divorce. For years, my father's had trouble saying no to crack cocaine and women flowered in cheap summer dresses. Watch his face as he arrives at last and stretches the toy out, my mother fixed on the porch behind me, the word son suddenly heavy in my father's mouth, his gray coat gathered around his shoulders. He's never looked so small. We could crush him. We hug him instead. So that poem gets to me, like I said, every time I read it. Again, what I mean when I say Truck Driver by Geffrey Davis. And if you are using any of these poems for your own prompts, I think this is such an interesting way that he gets at this by talking about, first what he presents in that title. It's what his father's title, his work is. And so you might think about someone you love or have loved and start that way. What I mean when I say, chef, uh, construction foreman, computer programmer, whatever. Or think about the tools that they use in their work. What I mean when I say blender, when I say hammer, whatever it is, and see where that takes you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that today, and you'll join me back for tomorrow, and we'll see where we go in our next leap of associations from poem to poem. Thanks.